A lot of times the matches don't always hit, and I thought there was some matches on this show that didn't quite hit. Specifically, for me, the first two matches, the tag match, the tag title match, I couldn't have been less. It probably shouldn't have been on the pay-per-view, to be honest with you. Now I didn't watch the pre-show. So we're not going to cover the Costco guys. Like, I'm not watching that, but apparently it got a lot of views on TikTok. So congratulations, AEW did a great job. But, but as far as the pay-per-view goes, the tag team division couldn't be more cold right now.
No,
there's nothing less interesting in AEW than tag team wrestling. And that's a damn shame, because when they created the company, it was going to be off the backs of tag team wrestling. And then for a while, they had the best tag team division in the entire world. And right now, it's just there's no tag teams. Even FTR, they somehow made FTR completely uninteresting. The whole division is just completely cold.
Like, I watched that show and I'm like, these are the 4 best tag teams we have. And I like Kings of the Black Throne, but I mean, Private Party stink. The Outrunners are just they're a comedy act. Yeah. And I can't even remember the other team who was the 4? Oh, the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are done.
They're dead. Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's done. They need a Continental Classic tag team division, and they got to get the Bucks back, and they got to get, FTR hot again, and they really just got to show out for tag team wrestling. Maybe in the summertime or something like that. Like in 6 months, do something like that with tag teams, get people more engaged. Maybe buy the Crockett Cup name from Billy, and just go from there.
I mean, it has to be for sale, or just create your own, create something new. You know what I mean? But yeah, they could do a Crockett Cup or Deadlock Pro Wrestling in Charlotte, North Carolina. They do an annual tournament as well, and then of course what's that?
I hear it's nice in Charlotte, North Carolina.
yeah. And then of course in Japan, you always have the World Tag League and Junior Tag League and all that. So I think they could do something similar. Maybe after the C2 is over, maybe do something in the beginning of the year and just ramp up your tag team division, get them hot again. Sign some new young tag teams. What the fuck ever happened to those British guys that they brought over from NXT?
Yeah. The grizzly young vets. What the hell?
Yeah. Those guys are pretty good. Those guys are probably never going to get over, but they're really good.
They're good. They can win matches. I was thinking about stuff that AEW can do, differentiate themselves and be more sports based. I think if they establish right away, why are we having this match? If you establish right away that a guy will get X number of dollars to win a match, all of a sudden you have a storyline built in. If you have a guy in a losing streak, you could always, I was thinking about this, you could go on he's in a contract here. So he has to perform up to his contract. There's a lot of I was thinking about how you could relate pro sports to pro wrestling and be different than WWE. I think these are all easy stories that you could come into. Because I was thinking of a way to do sports-based stories, right? Yeah. And I'm just thinking there's a million things you can do sports-wise to make wrestling work, and they just don't enough. And I think they should.
Yeah, I like the contract year idea. UFC does the win bonus. So you have a base pay for just the fight, and then if you win, you get another pay. And then if you have the fight of the night or you have the knockout of the night, then you get an incentive on top of that, a bonus.
That would be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
So that would be really cool. I don't know that they would do it, and if they did do it, it'd probably start and stop. It's kind of what they do.
I know
the fucking rankings, man. These rankings they've tried 2 or 3 times already, and they just kind of start and stop.
Well, Brian Alvarez has to, because Brian Alvarez never watched an actual sport in his life. So anytime you have rankings on there, he gets his panties in a bunch, and then all the people that like to follow him will follow along. Oh yeah, Brian doesn't like rankings. Rankings are bad, because they never watched a real sport. They get mad when someone other than the number one contender gets a title shot.
Yeah,
because pro wrestling has educated us that only the number one contender gets a title shot.
Stipe Miocic just got a world heavyweight championship opportunity, title shot against John Jones. Right, Stipe Miocic has not won a fight in 4 years and was ranked in number 7 or 8. It was a match of opportunity.
That's what I'm talking about. And that happens in pro sports all the time. But because Vince didn't do it, all these fucking knuckleheads get all pissy pants about shit.
But you know what? I'm not mad at the knuckleheads for getting pissy pants. They don't bother me. They're just creating content. They're doing their radio shows. Brian Alvarez has got to come. He's on the air literally every day. Who I get mad about are the fucking idiots listening to him and changing their plans because of what talking heads are doing. Right? Tony Khan should only change his plans for 3 people: Mike, JD, and John Muse. Everybody else, fuck him, right? But he should listen to us. But anybody else, like, look, you got to understand that's his opinion. He personally doesn't like it because of where he's coming from as a wrestling fan and because he doesn't understand sports, right? But Tony Khan is an executive for probably the worst team in football, but still a team, right? He understands professional sports. And so he said this was going to be a sports-based presentation, and they started it off, and then they just completely dropped it because of A, they're listening to the podcasters, and B, they hired a bunch of people from Vince's dumpster heap, right, from the scrap heap of WWE, and they're bringing over all these ideas and telling him that the sports-based presentation just doesn't work. When in reality, they were at their hottest when they were a sports-based presentation, and they've been nothing but cold ever since. They're getting colder and colder and colder the more they chase Vince. The more they go after Vince's audience, the colder they get.
And they keep doing it. They keep doing this. Like, you keep listening to Evans, who booked the worst shit that TNA's ever put out. Like, and you got rid of Jimmy Jacobs, but you kept his right-hand man. And I'm sorry. I know we have got people tell us, oh, Peppermint's really liked it. She's doing some good stuff. Bullshit. Mercedes Moné is not over anymore. And who's her pet writer? Right? This is like, they're listening to the wrong people constantly, consistently. Right?
Joe Lanza said it best. He goes, it's finally, I can't remember exactly what he said, but they put out a video on the Voices of Wrestling YouTube. It says, time to face facts. Mercedes Moné has not been good. And she's had a couple good matches since she had one on Full Gear.
Yeah, Full Gear was good.
For them, overall, she has not been a good hire.
No, she hasn't done much. Like, she hasn't elevated their profile. They're lower than they were before she got hired. It's not all on her. You can't blame her. But I'm going to put some of the blame on her pet writer. Right? She had her special writer in, who, by the way, is behind the Private Party push. They suck. Like, the tag team division's dead. They're not good. Like, they're late. Like, I'm sorry. Private Party is a team that was brought in 5 years ago, got lazy immediately when they got their contracts, didn't work to get better. They're still not better. Yeah. Like, this is like, I don't know, man. Like, the fact that they keep bringing in these WWE people and they don't listen to people who, and I'm not saying us, because I don't want to work there, but I mean, like, they can't try to be different. It drives me nuts. Like, we've gone off on, like, again, apathy kills me. Apathy kills me.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm not apathetic anymore and I'm actually angry again, I think is a good thing. As we're leading into the sports-based presentation, and I hope someone could break this down to Peppermint and understand, so she understands how a tournament works and she's not mad that it's not all about, movies and stuff like that. And I hope R.D. Evans can shut the fuck up and not try to promote his shit thing he made us watch time. That stupid pretend wrestling thing.
Yeah, it was the IPWF and then the Wrestle House.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and you know what? The big idea that he had in AEW was the Maximum Male Models skit that they did with Billy Gunn. That was all him.
Of course it was, because he sucks. Like, I remember because you and I, this is right time you and I started doing the show. First showed up Tuesday. Everyone's interest, and they Wrestle House. And people never came back.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, you cut out. You were cutting out. Can you say that again?
That sometimes it just kind of been weird last. The shows showed up in all those people. They had all the people watching, people going watched coming along. Did they serve us? Wrestle House.
Yeah.
People came back. Tony, the guy who stinks.
I think it's pretty fitting that TNA has had their best year since Anthem purchased the company after they got rid of Scott D'Amore, Jimmy Jacobs, and R.D. Evans. And this year for Thanksgiving, and I complain about TNA's Thanksgiving shows every single year because I just don't think they should take it off. I think they should just, I would say every single year they need to make their Thanksgiving show their biggest show of the year because there's such a rich history of Thanksgiving wrestling on. That's what they should do. I don't think they should go live. I'm not advocating for that, but the week before, record a 2-hour special and put together some of their biggest matches of the year all in one show. Well, they're not doing that this year, but what they did do, I thought was kind of cool, is that when they go to these towns, they do dark match main events, and they've been recording those dark match main events, and they put their dark match main events all on this episode coming up for Thanksgiving. So that's much better than doing a Wrestle House or doing an IPWF or just doing a best of special. They're actually just showing new, fresh matches but from throughout the year that were dark match main events from their different shows. So that's much better. But TNA's doing a lot better now that RD Evans and Jimmy Jacobs and Scott D'Amore are gone, and we're not seeing all the horse shit. But all right, so let's get to the next match. MJF and Roddy Strong. You know what? Weak build. Two good wrestlers, so obviously the match was like pretty good. But I wasn't really into it, to be honest with you.
Yes.
JD, I could not hear what you were saying.
Man, I don't know. My internet's being really sketchy right now, and I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna. We'll go ahead and keep you on, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna DM you right now on Twitter. I'll DM you the link, and you might just have to call in on your phone and just do audio only.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, if you continue to cut out. So here, I just sent you the link. Boom, there we go. Okay.
I'll get out and I'll call.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll probably be easier. Also, JD was already on talking about the Full Gear pay-per-view. He was with Jeremy Feinstein over on Fight Game Media. He did that show on Saturday night. So everybody make sure that you go ahead and go check that out. And it's over on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. So check that out. I think you guys will enjoy their takes. So if you've already heard his takes, forgive us. I assume that not everybody listens to Fight Game Media that listens to this show, although there is obviously a connection there because that's where we came from. But yeah, MJF versus Roderick Strong. The match was fine. Like, these are two good pro wrestlers. The problem is I just didn't care about it.